We got Denmark in the house, hey! And we're back! Episode 96. That's right. Brian's band, probably having an affair somewhere. I am joined by my new co-host, Jordan Madro. He's here with us. And we have Nicolaj. Oh, man, help me pronounce your last name.
Uh,
Lajush?
how depends on how German you want to go with it. I
I want to
say
go real
Lausus,
German.
Lausus.
Louses.
Yeah.
Okay. Pardon my ignorance.
Cheers,
We
guys.
have Nicolaj
Cheers.
Lausches from Cold Night for Alligators, which is a much easier band name to pronounce. How are you doing, my man?
Very good, thank you. It's I don't know what the time is at you guys. It's beer o'clock in Denmark right now. It's freezing cold.
It's prime
But
time for you. It's morning for us. I have like a lot of petrol and whiskey in this coffee. I'm gonna be drinking that throughout the show.
you're well fueled then.
Keep me fueled. Nicolaj is joining us all the way from Denmark. This is the first
Yeah.
guest we've ever had from Denmark. We've only had a few international guests. We've gone, I think we had Germany, we had the UK. We're trying to do some guests in Mexico, which is an easier time zone, but it is super difficult to land you, my friend. You are 7 hours ahead of us.
Well, I'm just happy to be representing. That's hope I live up to it.
Dude,
Right?
it's like the Olympics. You're representing your whole country here. The pressure is on.
Holding it down for Denmark.
So we
All right,
don't know
don't tell them.
anything. We don't know anything about Denmark. We are just ignorant Americans. I've never traveled over there. I haven't gone to Europe yet. I don't have any friends from Denmark to inform me about it. The two things I know: Legos are from there. They were invented there,
Oh yeah.
and there was a massive South Park whole season's worth about trolling that ended up being in Denmark at the end of it. Have you seen that? Oh,
I'm not that up to speed on the latest few South Park seasons. There's so many to keep track of, right? But that's the one with the Danishes for Denmark, right?
yes,
Yeah.
The
Seen that
Danish
clip.
get like they control
Sorry
like
about that.
some giant trolling
We're
website. It's
actually
bad.
we're quite close. Sorry, I think there was a slight hiccup with the connection there. We're
Yeah,
starting out well, right?
he's up in a cabin right now. And where is your cabin at right now that you have bad Wi-Fi?
Yeah. We are on an island just a few hours south of Copenhagen. We are doing sort of a small getaway, trying to, since COVID has preemptively screwed us over, right? So we're trying to make the best of the time and write some new material.
That's
Uh,
amazing. A band
so I
retreat.
actually, yeah. So the rest of the guys are slaving away. We're doing a small podcast for the band. So I just cracked the whip and put our singer to work. So he's trying to. I hope he doesn't crash Pro Tools or something while I'm here.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. You don't want to do a podcast. No one listens to those things, anyways, bro.
No,
All
just
right,
keeps him occupied, right?
I've scored some
Just
fun.
extra content.
I've scored some fun facts about Denmark to
Yeah.
expand on and help us learn. So you can also tell us if these are just absolute bullshit. It says here that Denmark is one of the happiest
Yeah.
countries in the world. I don't know how to gauge that, but are you an overall happy person?
I would say so. I mean, I would say your listeners can stream our album, buy a shirt, and make me even happier, of course. But in general, I'm pretty content. Life is good right now. Just keeping fingers crossed for shows to come back. That's sort of the one big piece that's missing and
Yeah.
has been missing. Uh,
Everywhere else is much more protective on shows and COVID restrictions, and out here it's like, fuck a
yeah,
mess. Go outside. Who cares if you have the vaccine? It's a mess.
yeah. It seems like you guys have just gotten over restrictions, from what
Hey,
I hear.
we said the pandemic was over, so now it's over.
Yeah, fair enough.
It says here that the Danish language has no word for the word please. Is that true?
Well, you can say, I'm blanking on that. You might be right. Although you can say, there's no one word, but there's a bunch of different phrases like, could I please have something? Then you would, you know, put together a sentence that expresses basically the same thing, right? But yeah, I guess we're not, we know what we want, and we know what we probably have it coming, right?
It says you have a word for that cozy feeling of togetherness, and I cannot. I'm
Yeah.
going to take a stab at this. It says the word is spelled Hygge. I'm going to say higgy.
Pretty close, hygge.
Oh, the accent
Yeah.
makes it so much easier. You're killing me.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't blame you for not pronouncing such an obscure language that well.
If I watch more hockey, I'm sure I could get some of these names down.
Yeah, just practice, man.
It says you don't have any mountains, so biking is never an issue going uphill. So is it really flat in Denmark?
It's so flat. We actually we have, and this is a literal translation. The area where I grew up when I was younger, we have something called Sky Mountain. Direct translation. I think it's about 128 meters above sea level.
Oh wow!
One of the
Wow.
So yeah, it's not that.
Yeah, it's not much.
That,
There's
that
like roller coasters that are taller
fact.
than that.
Yeah, so it's
right.
good to bag around.
So we can relate to that because me and my normal co-host, who is currently banned from the internet, we live in Texas and it's flat as shit out here. Yeah. So we don't have mountains. Allergies are really bad out here because stuff just blows in constantly because you have no mountains to break it up or blow downhill or back and forth anywhere. So I can relate there. Jordan here is in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah. So many hills and mountains and stupid shit. That's annoying.
All right, so maybe let's see if any of this info is incorrect. It says the Danish alphabet has 3 additional letters. I'm looking at them. I don't even know I don't know how to write them out. It's like an AE. It's the under oath O and an A with a squiggly over it.
The under oath.
Yeah. I was gonna say American metalcore bands really like our letters for some reason. But,
our gent bands could not name themselves without these letters.
You're welcome.
Man,
oh my god!
Such a valid point. And of course, Lego was invented by a Dane. Do Legos mean anything over there? Like, are they really important and big and popular?
Yeah, I actually worked at Lego at one point.
That's awesome.
So my apartment is stuffed to the brim.
Are you? What's your favorite Lego sets?
I just finished a big truck together with my brother. It took us 5 years to finish because it would be every time
god!
Wow.
And we weren't that diligent with it, but recently he was here and we said, all right, we have to wrap up this thing right. But that's
you mean
that's
a full-size truck?
No, but it's like I'm not good with American measurements, but it's like more than a foot across, I'd say, sort of from end to end.
Awesome.
So
I'm terrible when it
really
comes
detailed.
Yeah, I don't like the metric system, so we're even on that, bro.
All right, we can just guess, right? Or
we had to screw up everything and do mileage.
10 feet.
And
I don't know what that is. It's too much.
10 foot. All right, a 10-footer. That's crazy. Upon my searching for fun
you
facts,
guys have No.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. The time differences could be cutting you off all the time. I was just gonna drop this fun fact about
but you guys have like. Oh.
We're gonna keep playing this game of like back and forth tag. All right, so I found out that Denmark has a national bird. In 1984, the mute swan was named Denmark's national bird. We all know birds are fake, okay? So this swan, this is like one of the biggest drones that I've seen, okay? Probably because of Hans Christian Andersen's famous fairy tale about the ugly duckling that turns into a beautiful swan with a length of up to 160 centimeters and a wingspan of up to 238 centimeters. That's the measurements of a drone, people. The mute swan is Denmark's largest bird. That means that you guys have tons of drones freely flying above you. Terrifying.
Everyone's spying.
Well, as you said, it's a fairy tale, right?
It's a fairy tale. Yeah, good point.
Bird.
I only
James.
know one city in Denmark, and that would be Copenhagen. I'm seeing like you have a whole other massive land with other cities on this. So, where are you? Where are you from? Where do
Yeah.
you guys hang out? Where do you
I'm
tour? What do you do over here?
Well, right now I'm actually at, if you go Copenhagen to the southernmost tip on the island, you see there.
Okay.
And right next to that is Lol Land, which might be fun to you Americans.
Law Lane, like LOL.
That's the name of the island. I'm from the western, yeah, like LOL Land. My grandma's from there. From a town that isn't showing up on any maps.
Yeah, they only put like what 8 cities on this map, so there wasn't a whole lot. But I'm learning so much. I'm like international now, and I also got
Yeah,
these
well,
stock photos of Copenhagen. I had no
it,
idea that everywhere looks like this.
yeah, it's a tiny country, so
Water everywhere.
It looks beautiful, so I'm with it. Today is a special day because your new album, The Hindsight Notes, drops.
Woo!
This album ended up in my inbox. It blew me away.
Woo!
I had never heard of this band. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I discovered it. The name is what caught me. Cold Night for Alligators. It was strange as shit. I would have not guessed that you were from Denmark upon hearing that. Hindsight Notes is incredible. How did you guys end up making your best work yet?
Well, I will say that the band comes from sort of the progressive metal scene, right? Where and we sort of came out of a milieu where everyone's trying to write unplayable music to impress each other, and we basically we've grown up and gotten softer, right? People people get tired of having to practice to keep up. So we just decided that we released 2 records before, right? And I would say with the last one before that, we started finding out that, well, you could actually write a chorus and that could make the song interesting. And then that sort of then writing something that's just impressive to look at, right, while you're playing it. And we had a mantra for this record that we wanted to just write whatever suited us, and we wanted to write something we would want to listen to ourselves. I would say we have quite diverse influences, and that sort of shows up, right? But we just got more into really solid songwriting, spent a ton of time throughout a lot of good ideas to sort of end up with the best possible selection. Yeah, those I'm rambling, but
That's the whole point.
Are you guys one of those bands that writes
we wanted
like
to get away from the.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say, are you guys one of those bands that writes like 30 to 40 songs and then like pick your best like 10 and be like, all right, we're gonna just keep cutting until we just have like undeniable bangers the whole time? Like,
I wouldn't say 30 to 40 finished songs, but definitely if you took all the ideas that we threw away, you could make a couple of albums, right? And we actually also ended up recording and fully mixing and mastering some stuff that will probably not see the light of day because it's not on the album. Because one thing is just getting everything wrapped up, and then the other thing is taking a step back and saying, all right, what actually works? Do we need it to be just put everything out for the sake of it, or should it make sense as a statement? So I'd say, yeah, quite a lot of stuff went overboard, but that's some songs are practice songs. You get better with writing. So
yeah,
the next, if you write 2 songs and second one is a better version of the first, then why should you keep the first one? Right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I definitely
That's
feel
sort of
that.
our attitude. Yeah,
With the pandemic
but
and
so
having
glad
like,
you like it, man.
oh man, we're gonna step over each other this whole show, so I'm just gonna apologize 1,000 times right now for cutting you off.
Yeah.
Like, it is a weird time delay. With the pandemic happening, 2020 being a shitty year, it's been difficult for musicians over here, over there, everywhere to record an album, get people interested in the album. You can't tour off the album. Was all of this an easy process, a difficult process for you guys? I know some people had to record albums and then sit on it for 6 months to a year. I don't know when you guys recorded or how difficult it was. What was it like for you?
I will say we were kind of lucky with the timing in that we didn't have a ton of activity planned for 2020 because that was when we were gonna focus on writing and recording the album. We were already on the way with it, so we ended up having a lot of time working on it, finishing the production, shooting videos, right? Because we kept postponing the release date. But some friends of ours definitely got fucked over. Had entire tours cancelled multiple times.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
There's been bands that have like albums took a whole year to come out, and or even worse, we have a few bands over here that their debut album and their birth of the band is during the pandemic, and it's like, damn, you guys are a band, you can't do anything to let people know you're a band. I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh man, there's super lag now. Did I lose him? Oh come on, Denmark is so far away.
Our album was.
There we go. Go ahead.
One moment. I'll just open up a door. Maybe that'll help some. But actually, our album was finished a year ago, and we ended up delaying it as well. And when we signed with the Rising Empire guys, and now here we are a year later. It hasn't improved that much, right?
Are you totally sick of the songs now because you've heard them for a year?
Not yet, I will say, and I know everyone says this, but favorite album so far, definitely. I would say our previous record, there were songs on it that even while I was recording them, I was thinking, all right, I'm never gonna play this again, and I don't mind.
You guys are like definitely a prog band. You look at the album, you have
we'll see what happens there, but
you guys have 2 6-minute songs, you have 3 5-minute songs. I see that and I'm like, oh, it's prog for sure. The way that I described you to a couple friends, and I know some bands get offended with comparisons, so we'll see how this goes. I said you guys sounded like a prog version, better musicianship version of Hands Like Houses. That maybe it was the accent and the vocal style that might have been a little similar, but there's definitely like Circus Survive influences in it. And while it gets some good rhythms and heavy, it never crosses that threshold into anything really super screamy and heavy, which is a good vibe that I like. What is songwriting like for you guys?
Well, I will say that it's very, especially with this album, it's been very collaborative. Obviously, I'm the drummer, right? So I'm not gonna write the best guitar parts, but someone will have the basis for a song, right? That could be a verse or a chorus, but then it's everyone weighs in on the direction, where should this go before the song is even finished up, and then whoever has the lead on it takes it back, workshops it, everyone weighs in a couple of more times. Then once we have the structure of the song done, we'll do like a rough demo, and our singer will start workshopping ideas that will again change the structure back and forth, right? So I usually say that there's not everyone has had an opinion on basically every note that's played, but that's how it's not the most efficient use of our time always, but I think it produces the best songs.
That sounds like a healthy band
Yeah.
relationship. I've been in some bad ones, so I know that.
Yeah, me too.
What would you say is the biggest difference between the Hindsight Notes and your previous releases?
I'll say we've grown up. We are definitely less heavy, less technical, a little bit, much less screaming. I was kind of a champion of that because I come from sort of a death metal background, so actually playing with a guy that could sing was just like so refreshing when I joined this band.
You can
So
do a lot more with it too.
yeah, it's just the dynamics, right? The heavy parts are heavier if they're contrasted to something. But
It
again,
makes me
I love.
appreciate the heavy parts on the album more because you're not doing that.
Oh well, I'm really glad, man, because I had a few discussions with our vocalist, right? That every time he brought us back a demo with screaming on it, I was sort of like, do something
But it's
else,
so
please.
fun.
Yeah, and I guess it's easier, right? If you're composing, you don't have to harmonize those. That's
No, you just track lows. Be like, oh, it's a high scream, put a low under.
yeah. Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
such a blast screaming in a band. It's such a cop out too because you don't have to sing.
No, that's right. Yeah, and I would say
Yeah,
I don't know if
whole other list of problems.
yeah, but I would say we definitely matured, right? We had our manager, who's also a producer and singer and songwriter in his own band. He was, you know, we were meeting with him during the writing of both albums, both the last two albums. And he also produced the vocals for both of them. But with this album, he actually basically we workshopped a few ideas with him, especially with vocals, right? But when it came to the song structure, he didn't really have much input. He basically listened to it and said, "All right, you guys have improved quite a bit, so I don't have much feedback. Do your thing, man." That was
That's really
really,
cool to hear, right?
yeah, it was really positive because I think he's a guy that knows his stuff. Uh, so yeah, it's always good to hear from people that have been with you for a while that you're improving.
What is your vocalist name?
Johan Pedersen.
I knew it was going to be
Uh,
something difficult. That's awesome. This
yeah,
might be
yeah,
a better question for him, but do you know like lyrically what the album Hindsight Notes is about?
yeah. I would say, and this is like the least metal theme you can come up with, right? But I would say it's basically about becoming adults. We're all in our early 30s. Our singer's the oldest of us. And we went through I think this is much more personal than anything we've done before lyrically. Our we had we had two babies made and born while writing the album.
Baby Gators.
And yeah, exactly. Cold night for baby makers. And uh, and and this is gonna get I don't want to go. It's not all of it's not my story to tell, right? But it was actually quite under dramatic circumstances that our singer became a father for the first time because there was some issues. He like the son is good now. It was touch and go for a while when he was first born. So there was like 3 weeks when everyone was sort of like
On edge. That's an awful feeling to have. Yeah.
He was born prematurely and had a lot of issues. So that was like, it was actually really fucking dramatic.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I can understand how that would be difficult. I mean, yeah, praises to the
yeah,
happy and healthy baby now. Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He just learned the name of our guitarist. So the rest of us are really jealous, right? That he's the only one who remembers.
No one else
Uh,
remembers the name of your guitarist?
no, the baby learned the
Oh,
name of the guitarist.
what is your guitarist
But
name? It's got to be difficult as well.
no, it's Christopher, but
Oh,
his nickname is Poppe, and he and the baby remembered the nickname, so he must have made an impression, right? Um, but yeah, it's about, we all dealt with a lot of life stuff, nothing that is too unfamiliar to everyone. Breakups, illnesses, becoming a parent for some of us, and it's in the title, right? It's about learning from what you've been through, because if you
Hindsight is
have to,
2020.
yeah, and it's about if you have to make it personal, we want to try and make it kind of universal and a bit hopeful in the same time, right? And there was some heavy shit going on, but I felt like we all really grew from it. So yeah, as I said, not that metal of a theme, but
No,
it's
I'm with
about
it though. Like that's refreshing because it's like real life shit. Like for me, I got burned out of a lot of the over the top death metal heavy bands because you can only do it for so long. I mean, how many records can you make about a horror movie about killing people? Eventually that
Mhm,
gets old, and records that are about real life dealing with tragedy, something you can put on and get through the day or get
mhm,
through a rough time or vibe to, those records last so
yeah,
much longer than the listen to how cool this is. I think of
yeah.
dubstep in that fashion. Dubstep's cool as fuck, but the records only last a day or two. After you've heard the womps and the wobble wob and the wobbles,
Mhm.
you're over it.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it makes sense to you. I would say it's not. I mean, I would say it's all personal, but it doesn't mean that it's like
It's not
wallowing in like
unrelatable.
super heavy themes, all of it. So, yeah, but some of it's a bit lighter. For example, with our second single called Nostalgic, it's basically about, I would say, I don't want to talk too much trash, but I would say the Danish metal scene is a bit conservative. And if you're sort of a weird alt metal band with soft vocals, you get some hate every once in a while. And so with Nostalgic, we felt, oh, we finally, I don't know if you remember it, but we finally wrote a
It's
proper
funny
metal
you
song,
bring
right?
that song up because it's the one
Yeah,
that I was on when I was going through the advance. I actually haven't got
yeah.
past nostalgic.
Oh, yeah. But it was like we finally wrote a proper metal song. So the lyrics are basically about, getting hate because you're not metal enough.
And that's another relatable
uh,
topic. Of course, here in America,
yeah.
there's a but. I was in a scene like that. Like you either have to
Me
be
too.
super death metal or you have to be an indie band, and there was nothing in between, and you get ostracized,
I was the,
alienated, all those
I was
big
the
Yeah.
words.
emo kid in the
That
metal scene.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Like you've I don't know if you've checked, I've seen what we look like in our promo picture, but you can look at me, right? And so if someone from my day job asks me, "Oh, you're in a band," I'll say, "Yeah, and we're in a metal band." But someone like, "All right, but you don't wear like spikes and long hair and stuff." I'm like, "Oh well,
It's like, no, we're not Kiss.
I you I usually say if you had to bring a metal band home to meet your mom, right? You'd pick us.
It'd either be you
So
guys or
pretty.
Polyphia. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I would. It depends on like what you might want, the impression you want to give your mom, right? But I would say we can't keep up with those guys.
what's funny is when I look at your promo pictures, I could easily identify the four of you as a prog band. Like you guys are definitely prog because you're well dressed, you look refined. There's not a bunch of exposed tattoos. There's no spikes. No one's in a black shirt. I think you're in button ups. Like yeah, it's a prog band for sure.
Yeah, we had a. I think we actually play with. We usually play with like black or dark colors, but we had sort of a band like we don't want pictures with just dark shirts, right? Let's actually try to reflect who we are, not. I mean, of course, it's staged what you see in the promo pictures, but stage it based on like, all right, what could be a more genuine expression?
Yeah, it's an
Um,
accurate depiction of your guys' true selves.
yeah, and I would say we actually have a. We keep going on about like, are we still a metal band, guys? Because I just feel we don't look like it. We don't really. A lot of it doesn't sound like it, but I guess I usually say, we're a metal band because no other genre really wants us
No
yet.
genre will have you.
Yeah.
Nah,
But I
you
feel like,
guys are
I don't know,
definitely
being
like
metal,
metal. You're on the fringe. It's like it's
yeah.
easy to describe as prog. Like over here, I
Mhm.
know like 8 bands you'd immediately be cast with to tour with. Like they would just send you out. Bands like
Yeah.
Polyphia is one, Macari, Movements. Are you familiar
Oh,
at
yeah.
all with like the band Dance Gavin Dance or the genre that their fans invented called Swan Core?
Yeah.
Did I lose them?
I know of Dance Gavin Dance. They're not like a band I follow that much, but I definitely like what I've heard.
They
I
so
would
they have
say
like a
I wouldn't turn down a tour with those guys. That's
oh yeah, no, that'd be dope as shit for sure. That'd be a good blend, definitely. They have like a weird
mm,
style of post
mm,
hardcore that's like, the 50-50 singing, screaming, and they're real technical and
mhm,
wild on the guitars and a lot of melodies. They kind
mhm,
of created their own genre and had a record label, and their guitarist is named Will Swan. I was gonna
mhm.
say like the Swan Core boards, the message boards and the Reddit pages, if they got a hold of Cold Night for Alligators, they would definitely be going crazy. Like you guys would fit with that mold. Like you're not similar to those bands per se, but you're similar enough that I don't know. That's what stood out to me. I was gonna see if you had ever heard that term.
Yeah, I've run into it, right, and I get the comparison because you've just in terms of the look and feel, like Dance Gavin Dance. I'm sure they are serious about what they do, but they like their whole
The
brand
music's
is
wacky.
pretty casual. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
it
very
doesn't seem too
whimsical and
self-serious.
wacky. No, they're
Yeah.
not fucking serious people at all ever. Whenever I hear a really cool
Yeah.
band that I've like you guys that I've never heard before, I'm like listening to the sound and it's all like shit that I dig. I like those style of bands like Circa. I like Deftones. There was a bunch of cool stuff on it that hit me, and I always think,
Hmm.
how does a band sound like this? So I'm gonna ask the impossible question of how did your band arrive at this sound? Like progressive, perfectly flowing vocals, soaring guitars, awesome rhythms. How does it all come together like this?
Well, I will say practicing songwriting in a way that you write a couple of albums and you try to progress. That's a really boring answer, right? But
Oh man, we have so much
so it's
lag.
about taking the songwriting serious and can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's just a lag, and then there's a delay when I
Can you?
say there's a lag. It
All
cuts
right,
like
yeah.
messes you up. My bad.
There's lags upon lags. All right, but I was going to say just taking the songwriting seriously, and if it means, I think we literally had 20 versions of a lot of the choruses, for example. So if it's not there, it's not there. Compromise isn't really an option. Compromise means trashing the song. It's not going to make it on there if we're not happy with it. And
Quality
we
control.
Yeah, and I'm saying, of course, there's compromise in everything, right? Because we're 4 dudes with strong opinions, and I'm the sort of guy that has opinions about everything. So I think I can be difficult to work with, even if it's something that I didn't write. I might have a strong opinion, and it'll annoy the person that wrote it, right? But also trust is a big part of it. Being able to tell your friend that his riff isn't good enough. That's
Yeah.
Metallica couldn't even do that.
no. We actually had. I'll not try to name too much, but we had our guitarist brought a track that he was really psyched about, and I just told him, all right, really really sick opening riff. The only problem is you ripped it off from a Lamb of God track, and he vehemently denied it. And and then I played him the track, and he kept insisting he never heard that. But I was sort of like, I can hear it. even if you didn't hear it right, I can see why you're psyched about it, because it's really fucking catchy. But you have to do it
is
over.
possible to do that. There's only so many rhythms.
Yeah, there's only 12 notes, right, in the Western scale, so you're gonna run into the same combination sometimes.
All these fun facts and like the landmarks and stuff. Denmark looks beautiful, and I just realized with my Metallica comment, you guys are the ones housing Lars Ulrich. Lars is from Denmark. This is unforgivable.
How come?
Because it's Lars Ulrich, man. It just sounds stock. It sounds regular. He doesn't even sound like you. How is he from Denmark?
Well, probably moved
I don't know.
A kid.
Oh, that bastard! He sounds like he's from
I
LA.
Think
21 Savage is apparently from England. He doesn't talk like he's from England. Like
that's as fake as birds, dude.
I'm actually pretty sure Lars he moved to LA when he was like 14 or something.
All right. Well, so we're gonna blame LA for Lars.
No, I'm a huge Lars apologist. So
no, Lars is a great drummer. He's just an easy target, and he is literally the star of that documentary when they made Saint Anger. Yeah. Oh my god, I love it.
I recommend it to everyone. It's even people that don't know Metallica, like check out the documentary. Man.
It made me a Metallica fan because of how vulnerable they are, and you would just assume they would never show that. I mean, it took them some years, but I love that. Yeah, it's a great documentary. Some Kind of Monster, I think it's called.
Yeah. No, I mean, they come off as assholes sometimes, and they still released it, right? That's a credit.
Yeah, it's still they still release
because it's real.
Maybe
like
they
that,
shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Shit is real.
I mean, I'm sure they could afford to record a documentary and release it, right? That's
definitely
yeah.
So I don't have any favorite songs off Saint Anger, but I do have favorite songs off the Hindsight Notes. I want to say Water just blew me the fuck away. That's one of the 6-minute songs. I would say that's Cold Night for Alligators doing their best Grateful Dead, Let the Song Trail Off impression. That shit was great.
Yeah.
What is your favorite songs on the record?
My own personal favorite is Behind Curtains, the opening track.
Good intro.
I hate to be, the drummer. I hate to be the drummer. I chose the song in 5/4, right? But I just we actually there's just it's subtle and laid back, but it's so layered and complex in a sort of low key way. I'm really proud, but it varies. The ending of Water as well that you mentioned. I didn't have anything to do with writing that part actually, so I can't take too much credit. But
you can lie about
really
it.
Happy with it. Oh yeah, I play everything, of course. I didn't.
One man band.
Say that, right? Yeah. I'd say Sorry, go on.
I totally cut you off again. I'm terrible at this. But this is the price we pay to bring you sick-ass bands from other countries. Okay, so just deal with the time, people. I want to know, are there even alligators in Denmark? Have you ever seen an alligator?
Nope. I've only seen alligators I've only seen alligators in zoo. I've seen crocodiles in the wild, but that not anywhere near Denmark. That where you'd have to go to the tropics, right? It's so.
Do you know the difference in crocodiles and alligators?
Yeah, the alligators like smaller, and they're like they look a little different.
No, that's way too complex, dude.
Right?
No, one will see you later, and one will see you in a while.
All right, yeah, that's.
See you later, Gator. See you in a while, Crocodile.
Yeah,
I'll boot myself.
We have a shirt. Oh, he left.
I booted myself.
No, he
that
does
was a terrible joke. Yeah, I'm sorry.
He does this.
You have a new shirt?
We have. It's actually our oldest shirt, but we keep reprinting it because it keeps selling. But there's an alligator on it. And without fail, when we're selling it at shows, someone will point to it and say, "I want the one with the crocodile," and I'll just be like, "It's on the damn shirt, dude." That's
CNFC.
So no one. Danish people don't know the difference. I would say it's the moral
Your
of that.
next merch, the next shirt idea, might I suggest an actual alligator with erect nipples because it's cold, because cold night for alligators. No? All right.
Oh yeah, you keep it sexy, right?
Definitely keep it sexy. Have you ever been to the U.S.?
I'm not the merch guy in the band, but I'll bring it along. They
All right, perfect.
they took that responsibility off from me because I have too many opinions, as I said earlier.
Have you ever been
Oh,
to the
yeah.
U.S. or toured over here or anything?
No, we haven't toured there. We're not really at a level where we have been given those kind of offers. But obviously,
Bullshit.
we'd love
It's
to.
on. It's on its way. It's coming. You're coming here.
Yeah, I've been a few times, just as a tourist, right? But so I'd love it. But
Let me guess.
yeah.
You went to New
Our
York City,
friend,
right?
no, I went to the West Coast.
Oh, good
My
man. Good
brother,
man.
yeah, my brother studied in SF, so I went there and traveled around for a month. And then I've been to Canada a few times, but I don't know if you guys care about that. I don't know if
I
it's sort
love
of
Canada.
a
Yeah, Canada's
rivalry thing.
beautiful. Cold as
Right.
shit. There's people are way nicer there
Yeah.
than here.
Yeah, I always felt like I've been to Australia a few times with my family has some connections down there, and I always
Dying
describe
to go there.
Me too.
Canada sort of like freezing Australia. So it's like the same, really friendly, helpful people. Quite a bit more laid back than Americans, but I don't mind Americans either. It's just funny to see the difference.
America's really diverse in the sense of like people in New York City are rude, people in upstate New York might be nice, but then like the West Coast, there's a vibe in California, there's like way different in Kansas, so like people are way different. I feel like Canada, for the most part, maybe because it's condensed more, everyone's nice. Everyone's just like suspiciously nice. Like they'll give you directions and they won't lie to you. It's crazy.
Mm. I have a sort of a pet theory about why Canadians are so nice, because I've encountered the same thing, and I think it's just because there's so much space with like a relatively few people. So I think it's just like they're not they're not cramped in any way. Like they're just happy to bump into you.
They really are. It's unbelievable how nice Canadians are.
A lot of good food too. All right, so you have been to the U.S. You need to come tour here. I want you to come over here and come to Florida because there's plenty of gators there, and you can do all sorts of promo pictures. They got plenty of gators. They'll sell you one. You can buy it like a petrified gator head.
Not very
all
many
sorts
cold
of
nights
shit.
though.
Yeah, not many cold nights out there, but you can still mess with them.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to mess too much, but would love to come. We actually had some friends of ours that just did their first tour of the US and had the second tour canceled because of COVID, right? So
COVID
let's see when that
sucks.
opens up again. Yeah.
See, like our bands out here right now, we can still tour and stuff. I think Canadians are starting to have issues. Anyone in Asia is like stuck. But if you're, a U.S. band, you can hit the road for the most part, and it kind of just varies by state. Like if your shit's going to get canceled or they have too many mandates or whatever it may be. I hope it all ends, and I hope you guys can hit the road. This is a super awesome record, and I want more people to hear it, dude. The Hindsight Notes, it's fucking great.
Much appreciated, man. So stoked that people that far away are taking notice, man. That's yeah,
awesome.
I think it's got the potential to really do well in the U.S. The musically and vocally, it's a style that a lot of people hear, whether it be the younger kids, high school kids, adults. Like you said, it's a record that's about growing up. It's relatable. It's kind of for everyone. I see this record doing big things if we can get you over here in the pandemic to end, because it's really good. If people want to buy this, buy vinyl, buy merch, buy whatever you got, where can they find it?
Or go to coldnightforalligators.com, and we have all the links there. They can also check out our label, A Rising Empires store. I think they have different regional stores set up. That would be the best bet, right?
Yeah.
And if not, hit us up on social media. We link to everything from there.
and the record is out today, so you can stream it on every platform. It's on iTunes, Spotify. Share it with your friends. I've posted it on our Twitter. I've posted YouTube links and stuff. I like this record a lot. I think as far as like bringing out breakout bands and who we think is the next big thing, this was a good get for us, and people need to take notice, because at the end of the year, when you guys are making some noise, I want to be the one to say, I told you so. So go buy this record. Go stream the shit out of it. Any last words before we get out of here, my man?
No. Just thanks for having us. Much obliged. Always a blast to talk to people that into the same sort of stuff that we are. And glad to hear your perspective on what we do, because it gets pretty insular when you're just four dudes arguing about details that you don't think anyone's gonna notice. So hopefully it makes sense to others, right? But but check us out on the usual social media suspects. Instagram is the one where we seems to get the most action. We are at CNFA Band on all the platforms. So and check out the Hindsight Notes and take care out there.
And put it on a playlist and stream it all night while you're sleeping, so it just keeps getting all the numbers. Just do it. Stream the shit out of people.
And share it and annoy your friends with it. Maybe they'll dig it.
Maybe they'll dig
all right.
it. Boom!
I knew I was fucked.
What?